So, Brian, were you pleased with the week, giving the players a week off and how they responded coming back to work?
Yeah, I mean, they came back with fresh legs. Sometimes you just need to hit reset, especially when these guys have been going. They basically had a week off before they started fall camp last week of July, all August, all September, all October, and then Midland. And really, we say it was a week off, but they still worked out. They still stayed in shape and doing those things. But in terms of football, they took a break. I thought that it was great because you could see the energy that we gave with our practice and yesterday.
Brian, what have you seen offensively from West Virginia in this recent streak of 2 in a row? Seeing them playing at a much higher level.
Yeah, they're executing at a much better rate than they did early. And what they've done is they've made adjustments to recognize the teams, given them issues, and you can see that they're just getting back to basics and fundamentals. And you can see that from the offensive line to the running backs to the quarterback to the receivers, they're starting to understand what they're trying to implement there in terms of the system. So you see, like their offensive game plan, their program philosophy is just kind of coming together. They want to run 80+ plays. They want to run the football 50+ times a game. They want to be efficient, not get off schedule on 1st and 10. They want to get to 3rd and short, 4th and short. They have more 4th down, I think, run plays than the second most or something in the country or something crazy. You got to prepare for all situations with these guys, but they're starting to understand just what the program philosophy is going to be moving forward. That's why they've had success the last few years.
Ryan, they run the ball really well, by committee almost too. A lot of guys touching the ball and never running. How do you slow that down?
They're just trying to keep fresh bodies in, and there's some guys that complement each other, more physical, more balanced rushing attack versus guys that maybe have a little more quick twitch, a little more explosiveness. Guys that can hit the perimeter, guys that can run the ball at you. So they, and then they brought in a defensive end to play short yardage back for them last week. So they know who they are, and they're using their roster and putting guys in positions for them to be successful.
When you're preparing for Rich Rod, does it help to go deep in the archive and study him over the year? Does the seat check kind of change week to week?
No, he is who. They are who they are, but at the same time, they're going to give you wrinkles to attack what they do. They don't just check in and check out every day. They're going to try to take advantage of what maybe what we've struggled with in the past, or things that we haven't had success with. So we've done a big job of self-scouting ourselves and going, hey, this is part of their package, this is part of our package, we're going to rep it, and we're not going to get beat by it twice, hopefully, and they're going to have some wrinkles for us, and we're going to have to come up with adjustments.
What do you see with Scotty Fox as a true freshman?
He throws to open receivers really, really well, and he throws a beautiful deep ball, and he's really efficient in terms of creating explosives, and this is an offense that, they want to bleed you and they want to get field position and play good defense and get the ball back, and I understand that they're pretty chaotic on defense, and usually that lends itself to getting the ball back and causing takeaways. Again, it's a great program philosophy, and the quarterback is managing the game. They're going to run the quarterback, they're going to direct run the quarterback when they need him to. If they feel like they're slowing down, their answer to it is to run the quarterback.
Brian, Kenny said yesterday that it pained him to talk about X and what he's had to deal with this entire year. For you, as someone who's been around him for nearly 3 years, what can you just say about what he's meant to this group, what he's meant to this program, and what it's going to look like for him maybe going forward?
It's just seeing everything that he's been through, how he rebounded the year he had last year, and now having to come back from this adversity, it's just a freak deal. And, sometimes life happens, and if anybody's going to be able to come back from it, it's him. And something that he and I have talked about, and I talked about it with my own children. Just the harder and the more adversity that you go through in life, just know that those storms are going to come again, and you can look back and gain strength from the knowledge, know that you made it through it. And if there's anybody that's going to make it back from this, it's going to be him. And, it's it's a painful reminder of the sport. Yeah, he's just special to all of us. He's special to this football team. He's special to the program because he was here when we were at our lowest of low points, and he stuck through it. And by sticking through it, he was able to get us to the year that we had last year, and get us to the point where we're in a position right now at Big Ten to have everything in front of us as well. We wouldn't be able to.
If he does decide to pursue that now, what could he bring to an NFL team?
I mean, just leadership, vocal leadership, a guy who brings it every single day, and a guy who loves to be coached, and a guy who just loves the game. Like I've told other scouts about him and some of the best players that I've been around, and they ask this question. I think it's a key question, and it applies to really any avenue of life. Is if you have to be in the building every single day for 7 months and see this guy every single day, are you going to look forward to seeing him every day? And there hasn't been a day I don't look forward to seeing Xavion Alford.
Building on that, seeing X continue to be out here every day, kind of being like a player coach almost, how helpful has that been for your group and the morale of your guys?
There's guys that set an example by their work ethic. There's guys that set an example by their habits. There's guys that set an example by holding other guys accountable. And he was a guy that he had the courage to confront. He has the courage to stay out and lead. He was also a guy that was going to, he was going to do it from the back of the pack and uplift the guys that are at the bottom of the roster. And he's a guy that literally changed the culture in our safety room and for our defense. He was a guy that just brought it every day. And if things didn't work out for people, he was the guy who's going to point it out and say, hey, this is because this is what you do. You're letting your nightlife affect your day life. You're affecting, when you leave the building, affect what you do here. He's that guy. He's the guy that's going to go and drive to somebody's house and wake somebody up if they're late for a meeting. He just cares. And people don't know how much you know until they know how much you care. Like, people know when they look at Xavion Alford how much you care about this sport.